Welcome to the EP Sports Zone. I'm Abby Hooven, sports editor of the Eastern Progress, and I'm here with my co-host, Zach Weston. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, we've got a good guest on today. We've got men's basketball player Jomaru Brown. Jomaru, welcome to the show.
Nice to see y'all.
Of course. So we just kind of wanted to start out by asking just how has the transition been from OVC play to ASUN play?
It's definitely been one of the things we had to adjust to, of course. Our record isn't what we want it to be right now, but you know, it comes with the challenges. Just like when we first got here my freshman year, with the new coach and everything, calls weren't going our way. We didn't even make it to an OVC tournament my freshman year, so it's kind of some of the same things dealing with refs and, you know, just getting accustomed to new scout reports and everything. So it's definitely something we have to adjust to.
Yeah, a more personal transition. You were out most of last year with injury. How's it felt to get back this year and get back to playing well?
It feels great, man. I'm blessed. Came a long way, especially after surgery. I had surgery in January, so it's just like everything. I'm probably a year and a month out of surgery, and just everything. I'm just blessed to be healthy and playing and kind of feeling like, you know what I mean, how I did like 2 years ago. But everything, I mean, it's all in the work. It's been tough, but I'm happy I'm here. So.
Well, it looks like you're getting back to where you were beforehand. You've been on quite a scoring surge lately. What's kind of been key to that?
Honestly, just the work. I've been in the gym constantly since I got injured, so I feel like my work is finally paying off. Although we haven't been winning the games, I kind of, when we start winning the games and stuff like that, then everything will all make sense. But, you know, it's just, it's all work, a lot of work, so.
Yeah, after last game, your teammates said that you guys need to piece together two halves to be successful. You know, last game against Liberty, you guys came out in the second half and really put a run on and made that game close at the end. You've got two road games coming up. How can you guys put together the momentum from the second half of Liberty into the next few games?
It's all about the preparation. We have practice today, when we have a game Wednesday. So it's all about the preparation. We're going to travel tomorrow and just kind of lock in and try to be ready for this week. So.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been facing a lot of adversity all season. It seems like when one thing starts clicking, another thing goes down. So just kind of, how has it been for you as a veteran player to kind of bring this team together through all of it?
Honestly, it happens every year. Literally, I got hurt last year. Napper was hurt. Trey, mid-season, had COVID, got COVID and then got hurt. And then, like, the year before that, Smooth got hurt. It's just one of those things where we kind of know what's going to happen. Injuries happen during the season and stuff like that. It's just how we, you know what I'm saying, face adversity. And one of the things that coach really talks about is facing adversity and handling adversity pretty well. And, you know, it's just one of those things where, like, you just gotta put your head down and say, this is what we got, this is all we got, and just take it head on. And I guess just that's kind of the stuff that we had to harp on.
Yeah, so we're entering the home stretch of the season, tuning up for the ASUN tournament. What do you guys have to do to close the season strong?
Win games. Literally, win games. Find a way to win any way possible.
Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck this week.
Thanks for having me.
So now we're going to just kind of talk about the men's basketball game from this past Thursday. They played Kennesaw State, and, I mean, what a win for the team, 82-81 in 3 overtimes. It was the longest game they've had since 2002, and that was 4 overtimes. And, I mean, just being in the building, that energy was electric. I mean, I was hyped up. The players were hyped up. Everybody was buzzing, especially late in those overtimes, especially 10 seconds left, kind of not knowing if they're going to win, they're going to lose. It's kind of in the limbo there, but it was really nice to have a strong group of fans backing this team up. You know, the team's been through a lot this year, but the fans have never left. They've never wavered, and it was just really nice for this team to pull out a win in 3 overtimes. They kind of got tired, but they were able to pull it off, so I was proud of them for that.
Yeah, it was. wow. I mean, gritty win. A lot. There was points in the game where you were expecting EKU to come in. Okay, we're going to kick out a 10-0 run and just win it. You expected a couple times Kennesaw State to kick a run out, and that never happened. And a whole lot of yes, 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 no, and no, 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 yes. But it was a really good win and an impressive win as we're trying to get some seeding right for the ASUN tournament.
Yeah, especially those overtimes. I mean, Wardy played awesome in that game, especially getting key dunks and what seemed like every possible moment when they needed him to step up. He was right there. They'd lob it. He'd get it. I mean, that's what he does all year. That's what he does best. And then he fouls out before the third overtime starts, and you're like, oh, shoot, what's going to happen now? But Rob opens up, hits a three, gets fouled, makes the free throw. And then down late, they've got Brown at the free throw line to win it. He misses the first. We're like, oh gosh, we're going to 4 overtimes. This game's just never going to end. He comes out of the timeout. He goes to field the ball because he hasn't played in any of these overtimes. He's coming off cold. And he goes to field the ball, and the Kennesaw State guy steps in front of him, and the ref's like, no, I don't want this to happen. And he's like, really, dude? Like, just let me feel the ball. And so he gets a feel for it, knocks it down. We win. I mean, it was just a classic way to end the game after a little bit of a chippy end to the regulation.
Yeah, we made a big stop, too, because it wasn't like he made it with 0.5 seconds left. We had to get a stop, too, and it was a good stop. Kennesaw State ran a killer action, and we blew it up. So that was good. But if you're talking about this game, you have to start, end, and talk about in the middle Cooper Robb. He's my dad's favorite player. He's your dad's favorite player. Everybody loves him. He played 54 out of 55 minutes in a triple overtime game, and he defends his butt off. He's always up into people, and on offense he had to because he played so much, he had to be on the ball, be off the ball. He did literally everything you could do. So he was really impressive. Also, I mean, you got to talk about Mike. Wow. Big shot after big shot. Every shot he made was important. He was either ending a run or getting a run started, and just making big plays down the stretch. So, I mean, what a game from those two.
Yeah, it seems like anytime Mike gets the ball in these tough situations, he just looks so calm. It's like he's been there before, and he has been there before. So we're never really worried about whether or not he's going to be able to hit those shots because he's proven it time and time again that he's willing and capable of pulling it off. So that was nice to see. Yeah,
that's always a nice safety blanket for coaches to have. I think, like we were talking about last time we were doing this, you know, offensively, it really Wardy fouled out. Rue came in late. We had everyone contributing offensively, and that's when you want 12 guys and you want the mob mentality off the bench. I mean, I felt pretty good once we got into the second overtime because we simply had more people than K-State. We were less tired. Well, besides Cooper, 54 minutes. But besides that, I felt really good. But again, defensively, you could tell that, we're still trying to figure things out. I mean, at the start of the game, I thought it was going to be a long one because our zone we came out in was getting torn up. But we corrected it. Give Coach Hamilton credit. He went in at halftime, switched the zone around, and we got through it. And that's big. That's going to be a win that we're going to look back at the end of the season and say, hey, that's where we turned things around and got going.
Yeah. Well, we know what we think, but let's hear from Coach A.W. Hamilton after the game.
Really proud of our guys, how we fought, and we just hung in there, made some tough plays in all the overtimes, all of them. But this was a good win. This was a gutsy win. We didn't play our best, but we found a way. I thought we had to mix it up, and Nathan and go zone, and we had to disguise our zone and go man, and then we couldn't keep number one in front of us, so then we had to start trapping them. We did everything that we could do to try to win this game. I'm really proud of our guys.
Yeah, so we gotta shout out the EKU fans for coming out. The students really, because roads were iced, fans were gonna get there, but we packed it, and the place was raucous. I watched online. I couldn't go to the game, but I could hear the fans. Like I thought something was wrong with the mics. that the announcers had, because I could just hear I could hear the fans so loudly, and it was just really impressive. I can't imagine how K-State. I'm sure you're not expecting to come in an ice storm when your game gets moved up, and you've got just a mob of people yelling at you and getting you a little frustrated.
Yeah, the K-State bench right next to where all of our fans sit. All the student section is right there in their ear, probably 6 feet away, if that, especially late when they're, diving for balls, getting real close to that student section. I mean, it was just really, really energetic. You got them behind the bench with Donna. You got them on the side with the students. I mean, I couldn't hear myself think at some points just because it was so loud in there down at the end of the game. But that's kind of the energy that you want. You feed off of that, and that kind of helped carry them. Maybe if they did get tired, we didn't know because the fans kind of picked them up.
Yeah, what a win. I think that's what we can say. What a win. Yep. We played Liberty Saturday. Devontae was out in a boot, as we talked about last pod. He's kind of our do-everything guy, so anytime he's out, you can feel there's a hole in the lineup. But, we responded well. Jomaru had 24. Kurt Lewis had 21. That was the wrong game, but I said he'd get 20. And he's going to continue to score like that moving on, I guarantee it, because that's just that's the guy he is. Mike had a double-double, 16 points and 10 rebounds. We both started hot, kind of like the Stetson game. Both teams were rolling. We got up 14-13, and then Liberty kicked out an 18-5 run. We ended the half down 49-30, pretty much identical to the Stetson game and how a half went. So that was concerning. Second half, though, we came out strong. Got the game tight. Ended up losing by 7. We outscored them by 12 in the second half, though. So if we would have come out with that energy the whole time, maybe that game would have gone a little differently. Yeah,
that first half, it seemed like Liberty, anything they threw up went down, especially Darius McGee. He's 5th in the NCAA Division I in scoring. We knew he was going to score, and the game plan kind of coming in was don't let him hit these rhythm threes. And him and McDowell scored 14 in the first half. They had like 8 threes. So, I mean, it was just kind of a rough start for them. But the second half, Coach talked about it, the players talked about it. That's where they were playing their best basketball, was being able to hit their shots, get some stops, being back to what they know their game plan was, and kind of executing that. It just, you can't really overcome a 19-point deficit that easily.
Yeah, it's really hard, and especially with how we play, the key, and it's just, it hasn't, a lot, some of it's been luck. We've had teams come in and they've shot uncharacteristically well. As a team, Liberty shot better than what I would have expected in this environment. But we're struggling to chain together a couple half-court stops. That's all we need. We just need a few to get them behind the 8 ball, and then we'll be fine. We're scoring 80. You'll take that, but we're giving up 90. So, as the season goes on, hopefully we'll figure out a way to slow other teams down a little bit in the half court, because in a transition game, I'm not sure who you'd take over us in this conference.
Right. And one interesting thing, too, is Liberty kind of went small there. We didn't have to play Reek or Wardy those big minutes because the matchup just wasn't there. So we had to have guys like Michael and Kurt Lewis kind of play those 4 and 5 roles, but they still got out behind the arc and made their shots. So it wasn't like there was a drop-off there, because everybody can score, everybody can shoot from deep. So it really wasn't too big of an issue to switch up that way.
Yeah, I think AW might have stumbled on something there. I was surprised when Liberty went small, and then we immediately matched it and went small for small. I thought we'd at least try to keep Reek out there and just abuse their lack of height. But we didn't. We said, okay, you'll go small. We'll go small, except better. And we did. So I think as we move through the season, I think you might see more of that, more of us going small, and then on defense really basically switching everything, getting really aggressive, trapping because we're fast enough to rotate out of it. And I'm not sure teams will be prepared for that, because that's normally what we do is we always like to have, you'll have Reek in or Jansen in, and basically we have a guy in the back that can pretty comfortably handle blocking shots and protecting the rim. But if we go small and just full send into speed and quickness. I'm really excited to see where that goes as the season progresses.
Yeah. Well, they've got 2 games coming up this week to turn the ship around after the loss, but they play Wednesday the 9th at Jacksonville University at 7. And Jacksonville is coming in 6-4 in the ASUN. They're second in the East Division, but they're 10-0 at home. So kind of how is that going to affect the team as they're heading down there?
Yeah, that's never a stat you want to see, a team undefeated at home. Hopefully, 10's a lot of wins. We'll be the one to get them, hopefully. But they have a pronounced home court advantage. They don't, looking at them statistically, they don't do anything super great. 66 points a game, 35% from the three-point line, which is good. You figured they'd want to shoot a lot of threes if they're going to shoot 35% as a team. But, no, last in the ASUN in attempts and makes. They rebound, and they play solid, and at home they win. They're 14-8. They've won 4 games away from home. So basically we're gonna rebound well, play defense, and try to win at home. That's gonna be tough. What do you think the keys are for us to get a win there?
Jacksonville's not gonna put up as many threes, but we've got to get our threes up and we've got to hit them. I think being able to get on these runs where we hit 2 or 3 in a row and get that rhythm kind of going is going to be key for us, and just not giving up these long scoring runs and being able to, as Coach says, put 2 halves together, just being able to carry over from Liberty into this game, just playing solid basketball together as a team.
Yeah, so the 12th on Saturday, we go to Lipscomb. Now, Lipscomb's 10-15 overall, 3-7 in the ASUN. They're 5th in the West Division. They lead ASUN in the ASUN in free throws made, so they get to the line a lot. Their guards really attack the basket. A lot of their stuff comes out of like dribble handoffs, or they'll do some quick screens out of the side, and then they'll just attack downhill off of that. And it's worked pretty well for them this season. So on January 18th, we played them, beat them 86-72. We had 5 guys in double figures. Yeah, so last game, Braxton, he played. He had 11 and 13. Now, he's not going to go in this game. What do you think, how we're going to play differently without him?
I mean, that game, he really moved the ball well and got a lot of guys involved. We were able to get the 5 guys in double figures because he was able to make those plays. I think without him, we're going to need Shad to step up and make some of those plays as well. And then Jomaru didn't score at all in that game. So he's got to be able to keep this scoring run going, get started early, and be able to get some shots up, hit some, and then, just everybody's got to come together as a team for this one. You might not have these 13 assists from Beverly, but there are definitely other guys there that can step up and do just as well.
Yeah, so I think the focus for us this game, in a road environment, we're not in the friendly confines. The key is going to have to be on defense, buckling down, and not letting Lipscomb feel like they've got a chance. The shooting, we can always bring our defense. We might not shoot it well. Braxton not being there, we might be trying to figure out how to balance the offense a little bit. That might take a while. So while we're figuring that out, what we've got to do is kind of just let Lipscomb know you're not scoring. That's not going to happen. And then we're just going to turn you over and go shoot layups, because that's what you do when you're worried about your half-court offense getting figured out. You just play in transition. And I think that'll be the key, is getting out, using our athleticism, getting stops, and just not letting Lipscomb feel comfortable in their home gym.
Yep. And they'll come out with a win if that all goes to plan, right?
Right.
So moving on to women's basketball, they played Thursday against Kennesaw State and also came out with a win, 68-58. Alice Recanati played quite well in that game. Not 20 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. I mean, she's just got the whole game figured out. She was really on a roll there. And then Aaliyah Green had a double-double, 13 points, 10 rebounds, and she also added 3 blocks. So that was pretty crucial for them to have that defensive presence down low, especially against Kennesaw State there. And then Bria Bass had 10 points as well. So a nice addition to have 3 people in double figures in scoring there.
Yeah, balance. That was really key in this game. Alicia obviously was like the mover. in it, but we had two other people we had to worry about, so that was good. It was a game of halves. We struggled in the first half, but turned it on late, kicked it out, and we handled business. We took care of it, and we did what we needed to do. We got outscored by 2 in the paint, which surprised me, especially with a 10-point win. I would have thought we were up 10 or 12 in the paint, but that's not a bad difference. Like, you're not going to complain about that, but I would have thought it would have been more. We shot 22 for 54, 40% from the field. Now, we shot 5 of 15 from 3. We'll take that. Making 5 in a game that was this tight for most of it, that's good. And then we shot 29 free throws. So that kind of tells you the mentality we had. We hit 3 of those 5 threes in the fourth quarter, which that helped. That was good. That sort of kicked it out late, especially being down 33-26 at half. So having that strong second half of the game, especially in that fourth quarter, just kind of asserted ourselves and made sure that we got the right result.
Right. EKU kind of used that third quarter to really come back. They tied it up, and then as part of the 9-0 run, they kicked it out to a 5-point lead, and then the fourth, it never got closer than 4. So it was a really nice job seeing them not only regain the lead, but not give it back up late and be able to finish off this game strong and end up winning by 10, because at halftime down 7, you're not sure you're going to win by 10, but they were able to turn it around, and that was a good win for them.
Yeah, it's always impressive to go back and get a lead. Now, it's more impressive to extend on it, and that's what I thought was the thing, was locking in and kicking it out and not being complacent and making sure that we secured a win. So Saturday against Liberty, we lost 69-55. So 14-point deficit there. Jayla Johnson had 14 points. Bria Bass had another strong game, 10 points and 10 rebounds. And Aaliyah Green had 4 points and 9 rebounds. So great hustle from her.
Yeah, Bria Bass, she's also one of those players. She's just always involved in the action somehow. She's diving on the floor for a loose ball. She's getting down low and beating in there for a layup. She just really does a lot for this team. But we hit our first 3 to take the lead 3-0. Then Liberty comes back and scores 11 straight. And that kind of hurt us early. Being able to not let that run happen again is going to be key going forward. But they ended up getting close late, but Liberty just really shot the ball well. And they were up 10 at half. They kind of turned up their defense in the third. We missed some layups late. And then EKU went 3 for 17 from 3 the entire game. Liberty made 11 of their 28. So that really hurts when you're putting up 17 threes, but they're not falling, and Liberty's making them.
Yeah, the math didn't help us there. For us, we're not really built to come from down a big lead. Not like the men's team where we don't flinch at 15 because we're going to shoot a ton of threes and we'll make 3 and put it at 6. For the women's team, it's kind of just we want to keep it close, and then kind of assert our will on the game at the end. So we're always going to be. It's going to be tough if that lead extends. But credit to the girls for fighting and never stopping and always. I don't think Liberty felt like, okay, this game's over until really late. So that was really good to see, because we could have easily rolled over and it could have been way worse than 14.
Right, especially because Liberty came in 20 wins, 2 losses. You can take the 14-point loss against one of the top teams in the ASUN. So
yeah, we made a good showing. I wouldn't be complaining. So moving on, Wednesday, February 9th, they're at Jacksonville University. Jacksonville is 12-8 overall, 5-4 in the ASUN. They're 4th in the East. They score 60 points a game, 38% from the field, 27% from the three-point line. Now, they put up 15 threes a game. That's a lot. Only make 4. What are the keys, you think, for us to come out on top?
Looking at it, only making 4 of about 15 threes a game, they're not getting their points from outside. They're going to get them from inside. So being able to lock down in our paint defense, and then on our side, hitting those threes, coming back from 3 for 17, being able to not only knock down the shots, but keep our paint going as well, feed it inside. If the shots aren't falling, being able to get it back down low to Leah Green or getting Bria Bass involved in different ways. And then Jayla Johnson's going to have a big game too.
Yeah, we're going to have to control the paint on both ends. I mean, I would, if they want to shoot 15 threes, let them. Go for it. Great. Thank you. I mean, I'd go shake their coach's hand if that's how they wanted to try to beat us. So let's hope they do that. What do we got Saturday?
Saturday we're playing at Lipscomb at 2:30. They're 3-6 in the ASUN. We played them here at home on the 19th of January, and we won pretty handedly, 77-41. Jayla Johnson had 17. Emma Hacker had 14. We also made 12 threes that game. So you got to keep that going. It works against Lipscomb. That they're only averaging about 60 points a game. They're shooting 32% from three. So our keys are really going to be hit the threes. They're going to shoot their threes, but we kind of have to be able to limit them because when they were missing threes last game, we did quite well. So being able to stop them from the line outside is going to be big for us.
Yeah, I'm a little dubious of at home just chucking threes because those are harder shots to make. So for me, I think if we come out the first 4 minutes, just make a few easy ones, make them commit to it, get integrated into the game, and then let's let them fly. And I think we'll be running away with this one.
Yep. So now moving on to track, we had the Camel City Invitational this past weekend, and Ahmed Jaziri just blew it out of the water again.
Wow. I mean, I told y'all last week, must-see television. If you find a way to watch this man, he's great. He was the ASUN Conference Track Athlete of the Week. First performance at the IU relays. That was our first in program history. He ran the second fastest mile time in EKU history at the Camel City Invitational. He ran a 4:02, just missing the school record by 0.03 seconds, something like that. I mean, he's wow. And by when we get into the spring and actual track, I mean, expect him to be pushing for an under 4-minute mile, which would be like you're going to go compete nationally with a time like that. So just keep a bookmark on Ahmed and watch him just set records as the season goes on.
Right. It wouldn't surprise me if that record's easily gone in the next meet or two.
Yeah. Days are numbered on that.
Right. And then we also had Jones Abaleda broke into the top 5 list for the women's 3,000 meters. They finished with a time of 9:40 for number 5 all-time at EKU, and it's the fastest since 4 years ago. So another strong performance there.
Yeah, that's a great time to set in winter track. In winter track, as much as we like the awards, as much as we want to win, the goal is you're building a base for when you get into the spring, and that's really when like teams will have their full. Everyone will be competing. A lot of teams are having people switch events right now, and in the winter, just trying to get them set. But a 9:40 is a great base to build on. That's a time that you can really improve on, but you can feel comfortable at that time, and a lot of the pressure's off now. Laura Taborda also in that race had a 9:48.92 in her 3,000 meter, which is also a good time. So expect her to steadily improve as the year goes on.
Right. So up next this coming weekend, we've got athletes going to 3 different events. We've got the Marshall Invitational, the 11th and 12th in Huntington. Then they've got the Music City Challenge, the 11th and 12th in Nashville. And then we're also sending a group to the David Hemry Valentine Invitational up in Boston on the 11th. So a couple good places to get some points and get some experience coming back.
Yeah, that'll be good, especially with the travel, getting used to moving around. That'll be a good test to see where we're at moving into the spring. Football news. I've been waiting to talk about this since the start of the pod. We got Travion Longmire to commit now. Remember that name. Huge commitment. 3rd best player in the state of Kentucky. Beat out Kentucky, and the head recruiter on him was Vince Marrow. Now, Vince Marrow is ranked as a top 4 recruiter in the country. And he's at Kentucky. We beat him. It's a pretty big deal considering we're EKU. We beat Michigan, and the primary was Steve Klinkscale, who's a top 10 recruiter nationally. Beat him too. And a host of other Power 5 schools. Oklahoma and Brent Venables came in late so they wanted him, and they are really pushing for him. Just a little bit about him. He played running back and receiver in high school at Corbin. He projects out as a defensive back in college. He's got speed and measurables that put him on par with Power 5 guys. Like, make no mistake about it. He's a Power 5 prospect. So as a freshman, he'll be a little raw because he hasn't played a lot of defensive back. He's done it at camps, of course, but not really any game experience. So expect him to be a little raw, get some reps in. But once he gets comfortable, I mean, elite. That's a program-defining, a program-changing recruit.
Yeah, we're going to want to remember that name for the next several years, and if not farther from here.
Yeah, he could go play professionally. I mean, he is that caliber of recruit. So going along with that, spring practice opens up April 5th for football, so that's exciting. So we'll get to see our recruits, our commitments start doing stuff, as well as our big returners, and then that runs through till April 30th. That's 2 days after my birthday, for anyone that's curious, and where we'll have the annual maroon-white game. So come out to that, bookmark it, put it in your calendars, and we'll see some fun football this year.
Yep. Heading on to beach volleyball, we've got our schedule released this week. This is only the 4th year that the team's even been in existence, so it's still quite a young program, but they're still going to have these moments of learning and growing. You know, they've only won 2 matches in 3 years, and they both came in their first year. Of course, 2020 got cut short because of COVID, but last year they went 0-13. You know, people may view them as an underdog. They may be seen as the team that's going to be easy to beat, but they want to put EKU beach volleyball on the map and really make a name for themselves and compete, because last year they had some duels where they were cutting it close. It was 3-2 losses. So, I mean, they're right up there with the competition. It's just being able to get over that hump and being able to pick up one of those matchups. Maybe the number 3 pairing's got to pick up a win. Maybe the number 4's got to pick up a win. You know, just getting everybody back to a level where maybe the other teams are already at. But being a young program, you can't really ask much more than to just build on this already.
Yeah, so we're just climbing the mountain. We're climbing the mountain. There will be peaks. There will be valleys. We just got to stay the course. You know, it's really hard to just build a program, and that's what we're trying to do. And we'll be good. We'll be okay. We're figuring it out. Season starts in the Tusculum tournament, February 25th to 26th. So we'll go there, and we'll really start trying to assert ourselves. I think this is the year where we start to jump, where we start the train moving, and expect to see that when the season opens.
Yeah, we've got a home tournament this year as well. We had one last year. It was a good turnout, kind of a rainy tournament last year, so hoping for better weather this time. But they play here April 1st and 2nd. They play Austin Peay, Eastern Illinois, Jacksonville State, North Alabama. So we've seen some of these teams before. Austin Peay we've seen a couple times from the OVC. They're a solid group, but I really think this is the year that we pick up a win against them.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we end the regular season in the Austin Peay Beach Tournament, April 15th to 16th. Hopefully we beat Austin Peay again there, assuming we play them. And the ASUN Tournament, April 22nd to the 25th. What can we expect from the team this year?
You know, we've got 5 girls returning from last year. A lot of last year's team was just girls coming over from indoor to beach. This year we've got 6 beach-only girls, and they were able to spend that time in the fall when the others were off having their indoor season, really honing their skills, really getting that time on the sand, so that way when the indoor girls did join the team, they were ready to roll. It wasn't like they were starting from zero. And one that's going to be really huge is Hannah Keating. You know, she came from Morehead State. She was the OVC Beach Player of the Year, so that is a huge, huge pickup for the team. She was playing in the 1 pairing, the 2 pairing. She went 10-1 on the season and an 8-1 record at number 1. That's pretty darn good. Morehead has a really solid beach team, So being able to have that experience, having those skills, and knowing that she can win at a high level is going to really help this team. And our 1 seed pairing, we have Sarah Mitchell coming back from that. So I'm not sure how they're going to match it up, but I think those two together would be a really strong duo going against some of these ASUN teams who have more beach experience.
Yeah, I think getting Hannah in's huge because she knows how to win. She knows how to prepare. That's the important thing. We've got 4 freshmen this season, 3 that are beach only. Peyton Walker, Elizabeth Fonaview, Callie Walker, and Bailey Rima. They're all coming in, and they're going to learn from her. They're going to soak up whatever she's doing like a sponge, and that's key. When you're starting a new program, you want people to look at and say, hey, they've done it. They've been to the top of the mountain. OVC Player of the Year. She knows how to be successful, and letting the young players learn from her is going to be key as we look to take steps forward.
Right. We've got a lot of new players, but we've also got a new coach. But he's not new to this program. We've got Jeff Patton coming in. He was the assistant for beach the last 3 years under John Mazzani. Now he's taking over. He used to play beach volleyball himself a little bit in college. So he knows the game. He knows these girls. He's an assistant for indoor as well. So he's got the experience on both ends. He's already got these relationships building. So it's not like it's a new hire coming in. They're trying to get a feel for him. Like, he knows where this program needs to go. His players know where he wants it to go. It's just a matter of doing it.
Yeah, I think it was a great hire. We have a lot of continuity now, and that's another thing. Having stability, and I think that if you look at our team now compared to last season, we have stability. We're going to take our lumps this year. There are going to be some tournaments where you're like, ooh, that didn't really go well. That's to be expected. But I feel like the product overall will be way better, and I think this will be a great year, as a great building year as we sort of just get integrated into being a program.
All right. Now, we've got baseball coming up, too.
Swing, batter, batter.
Oh, yeah. We've got a good look at this year. We came in projected 8th in the ASUN preseason poll.
Not bad for being new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'll take it.
Right. We finished second to last in the OVC last year. So coming in 8th, we'll take it.
That's an upgrade.
Right.
I think.
We've got Liberty expected to repeat as the top team, Florida Gulf Coast right behind them, just like last year. Behind that, Stetson's going up from 5th to 3rd to round out the top 3, but you never know what could happen this season. We could really surprise some teams thinking about it.
Yeah, I think, and after that, 4 to 8 really, it's 4 teams that are really tightly clumped. So I think if our bats get hot, we could be easily 4th, pushing Stetson for 3rd. Liberty was picked overwhelmingly as the favorite this year. I bet we'll be competitive with them, but I think we're really going to be pushing for just, and it's hey, we're here, we're going to be good, establish ourselves as a program in the ASUN. This is Coach Prothrow's 2nd season. What do you think we can expect from the team this year?
Last season was kind of interesting for all teams, just with the world and what things we're going through. And I think this year we'll see some steady improvement from him. We'll get stronger as it goes. He's still figuring out how his team can play, and especially moving conferences against those teams. So you've got some tough non-conference. You've got Tennessee and some other teams there, but we might struggle a little bit early, but that's to be expected. No team's going to come out perfect, and if they do, props to them. But, we'll take those bumps, but turning it up into conference play is what I kind of expect to happen, and maybe surprise some teams finishing above 8th than what we're projected to be.
Yeah, we've got really aggressive scheduling of the non-con. We've also got Louisville at the tail end of the non-con, and that'll be a great test to see where we're at now. We've got some dogs this year, some guys that can really play. Starting with Kendall Ewell, he went and played in the Appalachian League this summer, so it's like a single A type MLB league in the summer for guys that aren't going pro. But he hit 333 with 15 doubles, 6 home runs, 42 RBIs, and 43 total runs in that pro league. What a summer for him. He's going to be huge. He plays all 3 positions in the outfield. Versatile. He's great if you want to get another guy in for a few games. Say he's playing at center and you want to get a guy running into center. He can easily shift over. His bat is so consistent. He doesn't really slump. He's not like, I'm going to hit 9 for 15 and then I'll go 1 for 8. Now he's gonna be consistent. And especially in a new conference, having guys that are steady offense is going to be great. So he gives us great run support going into the season.
Mm-hmm. And another one to look out for, Will Bryan, preseason All-ASUN, All-Midwest team last year. He's really going to be one of those guys that you want at the end of the game up at the plate. You know, he's going to be able to close out some games for us and really make an impact down the.
Yeah, he comes in last 2. I wouldn't say Mariano Rivera because, you know, that's one of the best closers ever. But teams aren't going to want to see him in the 8th inning. Just he's going to say, I can get 6 outs before you can get a run. And that's such. I know coach is breathing a sigh of relief knowing that he's got him in the bullpen and just waiting. If we can get up 1 or 2 runs in the 8th inning, I feel really confident if he's at the mound doing work. One more guy that we got to talk about, Jalen Jones. He will be an impact player this season. He's ranked as a top 50 junior college transfer in the nation, and he's my favorite player in baseball. He's a utility guy. His bat, he can do whatever you need him to. You need him to get on base, fine. Need him to hit home runs, fine. Need him to sacrifice fly or lay a bunt down, he's good. Defensively out in the field, I think he could play anywhere. He's really versatile in the infield. He can do a whole lot. So it's such a nice feeling to have him knowing that he can come in pretty much anywhere and be successful. That's really important to have in the long season we've got, and he's not going to be afraid of the step up from JUCO to Division I.
Yep. Well, that's about everything that we had set to cover. Got anything else to add?
Yeah, busy week. Of course, I'll throw in another basketball prediction. We'll go Mike with 20, and we'll beat Jacksonville.
All right. Well, tune in next week to see if Zach's right.
I will be.
So far, he's 0 for 1.
Yep.
But maybe by the end, we'll have a winning record there.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, be sure to check us out at easternprogress.com for daily content updates. You know, check our sports Twitter, Sports EP, for our score updates from this week. And we've got some softball games coming up this weekend, so be sure to check out our Twitter page for more updates and score and things like that. So, you got anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to the EP Sports Zone, and we'll see you next time.